So I'm here with David Mobley, 3-time world long drive champ. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
David's been a client for us for a few years. He competes obviously in long drive, but you also play for a living as well, right? On various mini.
Try to.
Yep. So he's going to have two completely different driver setups. We're going to have a long drive driver setup that goes by different rules and regulations as far as like length, for instance, is
48 maximum.
48 maximum. So that's going to be obviously different than what he's going to use on the golf course to try to keep score. And then we have his driver that he's going to try to cash checks with and make some money with. So that driver is going to be a completely different setup than long drive. So let's talk about the gamer driver. We play a little shorter length than probably most people would think because you're 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've gotten other custom fittings before you started coming to us. And kind of what was the general fitting that you would get and you would receive with drivers when you would get them done?
Well, the drivers that I got fitted in the past, it got to the point because I worked with Callaway and I worked with other manufacturers at their fitting systems and everything, and they got it fairly close, to what we did here with you guys. But the one big difference I noticed was they wanted to keep putting me in a longer driver of a 45.5, 46-inch driver, and then which created, I still had a lot of distance with it, but I didn't get the amount of accuracy that I need to play competitive golf and to play consistently. And then when I came to work with you guys, we dropped it down to 44.5, 45, and then all of a sudden I was getting the same distance because the integrity of my golf swing was there, and I was making a better golf swing, a more consistent golf swing, but at the same time I was gaining quite a bit of accuracy simply because of the shorter length didn't allow for the dispersion patterns that we saw on the original testing.
Yeah, when you guys out there have a longer driver, that's the one thing that most people don't take into account is there's so much into distance, which length of driver is not necessarily going to give you length of distance. Center contact is what's going to give you distance. But one thing you're more than likely going to lose is going to be the accuracy.
And I was going to tell you too, one of the things that I've found out over these years of doing both, the more I hit the longer club, the worse my golf swing gets. And
Leading
that's
into,
one of the
like,
big keys
and
of right there, and it leads into everything. And it's really, really frustrating, to not have a feel for your golf swing and be able to play the game the way you need to play it when you can't control the direction the golf ball is going.
Correct. So once we get into length and we solve that issue with him, another thing was shaft with David. And with David, he's very, very, very feel oriented.
Definitely.
More than most. He's going to be able to feel small things that most people just can't feel in the golf swing. So shaft-wise, generally most people probably try to stick you into an X tipped an inch or an X tipped an inch and a half, and super, super stiff because David's obviously a big, strong guy.
Double X, really.
He's got a lot of club head speed, but the problem is once you start doing that, what David likes to feel is the actually kick of the shaft and the load of the shaft. And once we start getting into double X's and then we start tipping them, all that's gone. So David's really struggled by getting a proper fitted shaft with the feel that he wants.
Right.
A lot of people have just looked at pure data with him and said, you're a double X because of speed. What we actually did here at TourFit was say, okay, well there's a tremendous amount of speed, but what do you like to feel in the shaft? Because all shafts feel different. Some shaft companies have more of a boardy feel. Other shaft companies will have more of a lively or more of a kick sensation in them. And we can still take the data and then match it up with what the person wants to feel based on the shafts that we choose. So we ended up basically just an X with a slightly tipped, which is a lot softer than most, but for David,
probably a good 10 cycles softer than what they were trying to put me in.
So that allows David to kind of time it up with his golf swing of what he wants to feel. When something gets too stiff, what do you notice with the driver?
It gets real rigidy and boardy, and I can't work the ball the way I want to work the ball. One of the things when you have my kind of length, the golf holes are only designed straight for so long, and they've got a bend to them, So it helps to be more like a Bubba Watson for me, to move the ball the direction the golf hole is turning. And when it's too rigid and too stiff, I can't do that. I can hit a good straight ball, but that doesn't do me any good most of the time.
So for you that don't know, what as far as distance, when he says the holes only go straight for so long, some of you guys may think, oh, David hits it, 320, 330, 340, 350. how many times have you hit it over 400 in actual competitive, either rounds or tournament long drives?
A lot.
A lot, right?
A lot. Not down here in Florida.
Yeah,
You know?
Florida's
But
gonna be a
no,
little shorter.
other places, you know,
Yeah.
definitely a lot.
So, you know, if he's hitting at, say, 380, he's either almost at the green, or like he's saying, wherever the dog leg is starting to move, he's running out of fairway, and it's getting narrower.
Yep.
So we really have to be able to make sure that David can move the driver in the shape that he's kind of looking for, what he feels in the swing.
One of the unique things that I found that was great about fitting with Tour Fit is we put a little bit more torque in my shaft. That was really cool because that allowed me to work the ball that little bit that I need to have better control and put the ball in the fairway more, because then I could shape the shot to fit the hole. In most cases, everybody's always put me in something very rigid and very stiff, which is great for hitting it straight. But when I mishit the ball, I would lose a lot of distance. And when I try to work the ball, I couldn't work the ball like I wanted to, and it would never really turn the way it needed to, and I would constantly end up with penalty strokes or in the rough and being frustrated because I couldn't put the ball where it needed to be put, knowing that I had the ability to do it.
So going into long drive drivers, because they're obviously a lot different, you say you travel with a lot of drivers, so most of those are probably different lengths, different weights. In your long drive fittings, what have you noticed in those fittings that kind of generally people kind of put you into a box and say, David, because of your strength and speed, here's what we need?
Well, that was a big key too. Same thing. It even got worse in long drive because they wanted to put me in a double or triple X shaft, thinking, oh yeah, you need something, you know, that's, you know, going to be in that, you know, between the double and triple X because of my club head speed. But it didn't give me any feel, and it felt very boardish, and I just, if any mishit just felt absolutely horrible, and I didn't like it at all. But the unique thing when I came to Tour Fit was you guys put me in a much softer shaft. So we dropped it down to something more along a S flex or a extra stiff. So it was basically 2 flexes below what they wanted to do, and it allowed for me to let the shaft do the work. And it allowed me for me to let the kick point, let all the kick of the shaft and the energy in the shaft transfer into the strike, and I didn't have to work as hard. So then I could just focus on making a good quality golf swing, and the shaft did all the work for me like it's supposed to do.
What is the typical length that you're playing right now in the long drive driver that you compete with?
Well, I think we found that the point of diminishing return was a 47, 47 and a half, even though the maximum length is USGA 48. At my height, it seems to be the most efficient swing. The quality's still there and the numbers are still there. I still reach the 137, 38 mile an hour club head speed and 200 plus mile an hour ball speed. And the most key thing, obviously, is the solidness of strike. So at impact, I'm still getting 1.5, 1.51. That all seems to be in the 47, 47 and a half.
And when he's saying 135 mile an hour club head speed, how old are you, David?
I'm 51.
Okay, so now you're into the Masters division, right?
I'm in the Masters division.
So 135 mile an hour club head speed, obviously for most even young guys, is unaccomplishable. But even at his age, it's even more outstanding, unbelievable number that at his age he can still move the club at 135 miles an hour. So that's extremely fast, and that's why most fitters are going to say, David, you're going to go right into a triple X, sir. We're going to put you in the stiffest thing we got because that's just a lot of speed. But they're not taking into account what he actually likes to feel. And anytime you're doing a fitting, you have to take that into account of what the person likes to look at and what the person likes to feel. What are some of the things you'll be doing this year? Are you going to be playing more? Are you going to be doing more long drive stuff?
Well, I'm going to play as much as I can, and I am going to compete in the World Long Drive Championship one more time. I'd like to win one more title. So hopefully, you know, I'll perform as well as my equipment is designed to perform, and I'll get the most out of it, and pull off one more win, and then I'll call it a career with long drive, I believe.
Yeah. So you're gonna look to do the senior tour stuff?
Try to, yeah. And Q School doesn't come up. It comes up in Q School comes up in November. Okay. So I got a whole year to get ready for that again. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you guys can follow David too on Twitter. I believe you're on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
And Facebook.
At the Golf Mob. At the Golf Mob on Twitter, and Dave Mobley Golf on Facebook. Okay. And then davidmobley.com is my website. Okay.
So you guys can like follow him on his long drive and in his playing career. You might even see him on the senior tour if all things work out the way you want him to. So thank you guys for watching. You guys can schedule an appointment at tourfitgolflabs.com or at the number listed below. Thank you.